organizational psychologist. I've been working for around 15 years with different organizations within the HR department, and I've been a solution-focused coach for 9 years now. And ever since I discovered this type of coaching, I've been using it at my job. So for 2 years now, I'm exclusively doing only SF in private practice. But before getting into the details of our team today, I would like to know a little bit about you. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So maybe write it in the chat or unmute yourself and tell me what brings you here, how come you chose this workshop, or whatever thing that you want to share about you and how you're part of our community here. Let's see if I can see. And now I will try also to share the screen. This is not the screen that I want to share. This is the screen that I want to share. I'm not very good at technology. Okay, let's see the chat as well. Okay, okay. So, as I was saying, in the last years, I've been working mostly with people that are in career transitions and maybe they struggle with their professional identity. People who feel like they're in between, so no longer aligned with what they are, but not yet very clear about what comes next. And the conversation with these people is what inspired the theme of my workshop. And as I said, because I really want to make this interactive, I want to ask you within your practice, when talking to people that they say they're stuck, what it's either in their career or a personal level, it doesn't really matter. What do they usually say that they are waiting for? So what is their need? If you can just share with us a bit.
In many cases, when I hear this, I'm in training and people complain about their jobs and they feel like they are stuck in a dead-end job. They say they are waiting for inspiration and for inside motivation so that they can actually figure out what they want and then make the first steps.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I often hear that too. Is there something else? The need to know what is next. Yes. Trapped. Oh, that's a hard case. Yes. Once I'm feeling better. So not feeling empowered maybe to do what they do. Okay.
And sometimes they need energy.
Yes, exactly. And clarity.
And
Yes.
clarity, yeah.
Thank you, Cora. Yes, that is so the clarity part is something that I hear very, very often. Clarity or readiness, maybe certainty, stuff like that. But very often clarity doesn't come first, or at least that's how the clients describe it. And what I'd like to explore today is maybe what happened when we reverse that order. So instead of working, let's say, towards clarity first, we'll look at how movement, but movement understood here as exploration and learning. How can we intentionally invite it when direction is not very clear yet? So this is a very important distinction that the workshop today focuses on working with people that often can't recognize what they need or what they want. So people who can't see a way out, or maybe they see different possibilities, but somehow the direction is foggy. So movement here is not necessarily about making decisions, getting somewhere, achieving something. It's about creating the conditions in which direction can start to make sense or to clarify. And I just want to give you a quick example to highlight better maybe the difference between movement and the small steps concept that we are all using, and we're very familiar with, because um, it's easy to say that it may be maybe the same thing or sometimes they overlap. But for example, a small step or a next step in this situation would sound like maybe I can update my CV, or maybe I could start applying to a job, or maybe I could try doing the job that I was trained in university for. But movement, as I mean it here, sounds like maybe I could talk to three people in different roles just to understand the reality of their work, because to me it sounds good, but I need more information. Or maybe I could do a small project after work, just as an experiment to see if it fits. And if none of that fits, yeah, there's no pressure, because the purpose of movement is not progress. So when we are on the scale, we're not looking to go a step further, but the purpose of the movement is information. So to gather more information, because once information exists, then direction and next steps become possible. And this is exactly the space I want us to work in today. It's not the space of decisions, and it's not the space of certainty, but rather the space where movement can create information. Instead of asking, what's the next step or what's a small thing that you could do, the question becomes, what could you try in order to learn something about what fits? But I think I did too much talking, and I said that this is going to be a community thing. So let's experience this together. We'll do an exercise. It's not an exercise about finding answers. It's not about coming up with a plan. It's an exercise about inviting this movement in situations when we are not so clear. The clarity is not very available. And I love the fact that we have plenty of time. The feedback I want to hear after this exercise and after this workshop is that we had time to talk and to connect. We'll work in pairs. One of us will be the coach, and then the other the client, and then we'll just switch. And we can take about a good 15 minutes to do this. And the only requirements I have for this situation, as you probably know, that it has to be like a real thing, so not invented, because it's not going to work. And maybe to choose a situation where maybe direction is unclear, or even maybe where clarity is part of the difficulty. So we'll have 7 minutes each, and then I trust that you will switch the roles. These are the questions. Maybe you write them down or take a picture of them. If I write them in the chat, you're not gonna see it in the breakout rooms. And remember that the job is not to help the client decide, but to help them generate movement that creates information. So we're not trying to move forward, but we're trying to learn, explore, and discover. And before we get into the breakout rooms, tell me if there's there are any questions or.
Hi, yes, please, when you put me, I can't participate in the breakout room now. I can just listen if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So you can be assigned in a breakout room and just listen as an observer.
If that's okay. Yes, thank you.
Great. Yes, sure.
I'm making the breakout rooms in the meantime, and if anyone is not able to participate, just let me know. Please write in the chat, and then I can assign you as an observer. Because otherwise, if I put you in pairs and someone is not at the computer at the moment, then it might be difficult for the other person.
That's great, Reka. You're helping so much.
Okay, so if everyone is here, Michael or Mikhail, Anna Laura, are you here? Franz, Patricia, and Simona and Olainka, I think you already mentioned. I'm not sure which one is your family name, but I hope it's fine. Simona is here, perfect. Okay, so I'm making the breakout rooms right now, and I will check in the meantime if anyone is alone, then me as a host, I can join in. And Laura, would you like to participate in any of the breakout rooms?
Yes, but after we have them all ready, then we'll see you and I where we can join and what we can do.
Sure, I'll make you co-host for a moment, and then it will not assign you to any of the rooms. Okay, and so I put 16 minutes altogether because you said 15 and then one extra so that we
Yeah.
can easily manage. Okay, okay, yes, Patricia is
Thank you.
here. Okay, and in room number 1. Yes, perfect. And just one moment because someone just joined. Hello, Li Ming, can you hear us? Are you here? We are just about to move into a breakout room, and I would be happy to put you there to have a conversation as well, if that's fine. Let me know if you are only able to observe. That's also going to work. Okay?
Yeah, I'm only able to observe. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. So I'm going to open the breakout rooms now. When you are out there, if there is any technical issue or problem, on the bottom line, there will be a little question mark that says ask for help. If you click on that, I will be joining the room and helping you with whatever you need. Okay, so 15 minutes, off you go, and have lovely conversations. Okay, so now I open the rooms, and as you are a co-host, you can also check if everything is fine. It looks like they are doing okay now. Leila just arrived. Hello, Leila.
Talking about, I'm referring to doing something, an action that I can do, a way of moving forward, but just to gather information about what to gather information that generates clarity. So are we all here? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. So let's take a little bit of feedback. How was it? What did you manage to ask the questions? I know that for some people it wasn't very clear from the beginning. I'm sorry. What the exercise was. So tell me.
Sorry, could I?
Yes, please.
I'm just
Yes.
super I just realized this now that I'm very excited about the term experiment because I feel like it releases me of any responsibility of results for some reason. So I'm not overthinking the process as much. And it gives me more freedom to try things which before I would be more apprehensive of. So I really like that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Cora, for sharing. That was like the whole point. Yes. So movement as testing without the pressure of deciding. Yes. So how was it for somebody else? Is that something that surprised you, something that you didn't expect? Was how was not to ask the question about the next step, but rather exploratory questions? Let's also see the chat.
I would like to say something. For me, it was very useful because it happened that I was with Sue in a team and in pair, and actually we met a week before, so we worked on some topics. So now we just continued, and it was so nice to have these questions because we have been working on this topic. So yeah, it was really useful and thank you. And it was, I think for me, it brought more clarity about what to focus next. And indeed, it took out the pressure of having clarity now.
Yes.
So
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Tina, for sharing. Thank you. This was the purpose. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes, I got clarity and experiment next steps in 4.5 minutes. I'm impressed.
Great.
Not necessarily next steps, yeah, but the experiment. Yeah, let's clarify that.
Yeah, but sometimes the experiment is a next step. I mean, it's not like a clear line between the two. So yeah, thank you, Sue, for sharing. Thank you.
I had the pleasure of being interviewed by Conrad. And since I had missed your presentation until the workshop, I was very grateful that he led me through it. But I think the whole experiment issue also brought me into kind of more playful atmosphere, talking about how to lead a team and so on, that you almost there's this pressure of knowing what we need to do next. But the moment that you're doing an experiment, it becomes more playful. And at least through his questions, I had more playful approach to it.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, this happens often where people in transitions or when having to take a decision, that the pressure to decide like keeps the nervous system in a state of alert. They feel the need to figure things out because they can't, everything feels somehow urgent and overwhelming. And that's why the movement can offer in this moment not necessarily an answer, but a pause from the pressure to decide. That's why I often think that sometimes our work is not necessarily to help clients figure things out first, but help them move safely enough so that figuring things out becomes possible. So let's see if we can start a conversation, or if you have any questions or any personal experience with clients that you want to share. My presentation is kind of over because the whole purpose was just to introduce this concept as movement, as a pause, not necessarily as a way of taking action, but a way of finding things out. And I'm curious to hear from you as my colleagues, your feedback and your experience with transitions and with similar topics.
Go on, I'll jump in then. I was going to say, being UK-based law and colleagues, I guess I'm a bit of a brief boy, trained by the team at Brief. So, my kind of go-to place, and it's kind of the only, solution-focused model or approach that I know, the Brief one, is, obviously in scaling, what would, one step up on the scale kind of look like. So just for me, whilst I can't share any anecdotes of what it's like in practice, or in practice working with people on career transitions, using sort of your approach, it was just wanted to say it's kind of a refreshing change. Really does take the pressure off from asking somebody to describe what their preferred future would be and what that looks like on a scale, to asking them, these sort of, taking that pressure off and looking at it from an information base. What are the, what are the possibilities, I guess, in effect, perhaps, and hopefully I haven't misinterpreted that. So thank you.
Thank you, Conrad. Thank you for sharing.
I had got one very quick question. Don't know if we've got the kind of the time for it. I was just wondering if you, obviously this is like a kind of a mini presentation within a whole client session that may last like, 30, 50 or even 50 minutes or even an hour. Kind of where would you move from here, from these questions? Where would you kind of go to in the conversation from here?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you typically do that? How do you typically do that? Sorry.
Yes, so when I said my last sentence, it was something about moving safely enough. And then I thought that feeling safe is extremely important, and how safety is um, um, a necessary condition in order to have exploration, in order to be able to explore. It's like sometimes like kids with parents, that they have to feel safe enough in order to be able and go and do stuff. So I would move in that direction towards what feels safe for you, and containing a situation where it's okay not to know, and it's okay not to be so quick, not to feel safe in this uncertainty state of, or you know what I'm saying.
I do. Not knowing, that's beautiful. You just demonstrated that perfectly. So thank you. Yeah, that was, let's say, enlightening for me. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of have the feeling that there are these three sentences on the screen, and I could like spend a lot of time analyzing. Oh, sorry, I kind of put my hands up. So analyzing it word by word or sentence by sentence, because it's like such a concentrated idea or information right here. And a minute ago, or a few minutes ago, you mentioned the term transitions, that people are in transition, and it kept me thinking and generating a whole different path of ideas. And I was not in the breakout room, but I was thinking about the same questions that the other participants, and it was very interesting to kind of have a look at what I think about experimentation and movement. And it's simply words, but still it makes a huge difference to think about my attitude toward these words and how they appear in my everyday life, and whether I am in a situation of decision right now and how it could change the way I feel in this situation. So it was wow, I really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Yes, it was actually a friend of mine that has absolutely no connection with solution focus or psychology that kept saying, I'm just going to test this. I'm just testing this. And so this testing, the idea of testing kept repeating. She opened a new business and I asked her about that, and she kept repeating the testing part. And then I started using this testing part in my personal life decisions, and then started using it with clients. And that's when I saw that there's a difference, that maybe there's something there.
I really like this concept of testing because it kind of allows me not to have it all figured out yet. Just do something, even if it's little steps or even it's just an experiment, but it keeps me at ease. I don't have to have it all figured out, just testing.
Yes, testing, experimenting, and doing stuff, not something definite, but just to find out things. But to doing the doing here is important to gather yourself and do something without the pressure of being successful. You can even fail and then you learn something new. Yes. Okay, so we finished a bit earlier. We can stop here. It's perfect to have a little bit of extra time. We can go into coffee breaks, or you can just have 15 minutes until the next workshop. I know that all of you are very active and we are all participating. So 1 hour after the hour at almost all the workshops here. I love it how we support each other. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you, everybody who participated, and thank you all who offered me an answer and were involved in this. I guess I'll see you at the next workshop.
Thanks so much, Laura. Thank you, Simona. Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
yeah.
Bye.